Hey, what's up guys, Tony here, and you're watching some more Project Cars. This is the final race of the GT5 UK Cup, and this is at Donnington. And this race is particularly interesting just because of the fact that I pit mid-race, like as you do, and then what happened is it was raining, and I just assumed that it was going to be raining throughout the entire race, which I probably shouldn't do that. But anyways, I assumed that it was going to be raining throughout the entire race. And so when I went into the pits, I kept my rain tires on. And sure as shit, not, I don't know, 4 laps later or something like that, the rain dissipated and the sun came out. And basically by the end of the race, you know, it wasn't wet anymore. So I was running on rain tires, and the AI had switched to their slicks. And so the AI was like gobbling up time. And I screwed up one time real bad towards the end of the race, and I lost a bunch of positions, but it doesn't really matter because I was going to win the series anyways. I think I won 3 out of the 5 races, or actually the 3 out of the 5 events. So, you know, I won both the sprint race and the longer race. So anyways, I won the championship, spoiler alert, sorry, but it was kind of a foregone conclusion before this race even started. That's why last week at Brands Hatch I decided not to. I didn't really worry about qualifying because I was going to start from the rear, and you know, statistically I had won it by week 4, so I wasn't really all that disappointed. So anyways, I'm moving on to GT4 next season, and it's looking like I'm going to run the Ginetta as well, and I'll talk about that later on. But I want to give you guys the update on the living situation, on what's going on, because like I said in the last video, it's sort of been the theme in which that this particular Project Cars series has taken on. And so if you've been following the last series of videos that I've been doing, basically I've been talking about the transition, the sort of 6-week long transition, things that have been going on in my house with respect to my grandmother and her future. And so we decided, we decided on the date and the time to put her into a Alzheimer's care facility, and that was Tuesday. And so Tuesday was a clusterfuck, but I gotta go back. So this last Sunday, Monday, I think I might have talked about it in the last video, but Sunday, Monday, my uncle and we moved in furniture, and we got the room totally set up. Like, it was all set up, perfect, ready to go for Tuesday morning. And so my uncle said, okay, I'm gonna get there Tuesday morning at 11:30, or no, yeah, it was about 11:30 thereabouts, or 12 o'clock. I think it was 12. And he said, I want you to come about 12:20, something like that. So I'm gonna let the staff know, and we're going to get her moved in. And so I was, okay, no big deal. We had everything planned. And so Monday night, I was sitting in my room, and we had a long day of moving stuff and just sort of arranging the room. And we really were planning on a big move. Like, it was gonna be a scramble on Tuesday morning. So we were gonna, my uncle's gonna have a friend come over. We're gonna pack his truck up, get over there, and like have my mom take my grandma to like lunch or something, and we're gonna set the room up, and then she was gonna bring my grandmother over, and then we're gonna move her in. So it was this whole like orchestrated event. And then on Monday, my mom was just like, why don't we just move everything in, like, today? Let's just get it done today. We don't have to do it tomorrow. And so I said, okay, let's do that then. So we packed up as much stuff as we could. My mom has an SUV, so we made 2 runs. We packed up the car. I know in the last video I said it, if you're interested in following this, I posted the pictures on Twitter, and I talked about it on Facebook. Anyways, we packed up everything. We got, like I said, we got the entire room filled and furnished, and it looked really good. I have to admit, I was really proud of what we had done. There were some last minute items that we needed to take care of: her pills, and some wipes, and some gloves, and there are some extra little miscellaneous items that we had to get, her toiletries, stuff like that. But Monday night, maybe because I was tired, maybe because it was Monday night and Tuesday was the next day, but I really had a rough night. I didn't sleep very well. I was sitting on my bed, and I think I had Pandora playing, and I was just kind of sitting there, and I don't remember what I was doing. I just was sitting there. My iPad was open, and I was doing something, and then the song "Let Her Go" by Passenger came on, and it got into one of the verses, and I've heard this song a gazillion times, but there was something about the lyrics that, although I'm not one, like, I'm not a lyricist, I don't really dissect lyrics. I'm more like a melody kind of person. Like if I like the melody of a song, then I'm like, yeah, I like the song. So I don't really listen to the lyrics. So I think the song is about a man who loves a woman and breaking up or something like that. I'm not sure. But given the circumstances, given the context, like the song, it struck a chord and it cut so deep. Like I was like a blibbering just idiot. I was sitting there in my bed and I was crying and I was just making all these just stupid noises, when you just like let it go. And so I'm laughing about it because I don't know, I guess that's my defense mechanism. But anyways, Monday night was really hard. Like it was also necessary. I'm gonna say that as well. It was hard but necessary, and I got a lot of feelings out that were bottled. Like it just all came to the surface. It was, like I mentioned a couple videos back, like I corked off some emotions that I had the previous like Friday or so, and they were coming up and I couldn't do anything about it, and I just let it go. And it's funny how that's a part of the let her go. But yeah, so it just struck a chord to me, and the whole concept of, I love my grandmother, and I want to care for her, but she's gone beyond my ability to care for her. So, to use those lyrics of I love her, I gotta let her go, I gotta let her go to this care facility. That's basically what I was taking from the song. And so that song will forever remind me of my grandmother. It's like the Stone Sour song, oh gosh, what the hell's the name of the song? It's like Stars or something like that. I don't remember. But I had to give up my cat. I had this cat for two years or something like that. I was living up in Santa Barbara, and I had to put the cat up for adoption, basically. And so the day that I dropped the cat off, I was driving back to my apartment, and I just was like, that song was playing on the radio, and it just forever, I will forever remember that cat, because that song just happened to be playing at that time. So the Passenger song will be forever associated with my grandmother. So Monday was a really hard night. It was a really hard night. So Tuesday came along, and so yeah, he was gonna get there 11:30. So Tuesday came along. My uncle said that he got to the facility 11:30, and the facility's manager said, "Oh, her room's not ready yet." And he's like, "Wait, what? What do you mean the room's not ready yet?" "Oh yeah, the painter got here late, so he's painting the room right now." Now, the painter was supposed to come like 2 weeks ago and touch up like a spot or two on this wall. Well, as it turned out, the painter painted the entire room. Like, he was halfway done painting the entire room Tuesday morning, and she was moving in an hour later. And the facility knew this too. Like, they absolutely knew that we were coming that day. Like, this was not something that we sprung upon them. They had known for weeks that we were coming. And so they totally dropped the ball. And I don't know what the painter was thinking. The painter's just like, he saw a fully furnished room, like totally ready to go, and he's just like, well, I'm gonna move all the furniture and paint anyways, like without asking a single question. So basically, my uncle and I were really furious. Like, I was really furious because there was so much buildup. Like, Monday was such a buildup, and we had built up to the day, and it was like, what the I don't want to carry this around for another, because we got delayed by 2 days. I don't want to carry this around for another 2 days. Let's just do this. Let's get it over with. And that was really my feelings. I just wanted to get it over with. And that wasn't the case. So we had to be delayed a couple of days. Let the paint dry and let the room air out. And so Thursday morning was the move-in day. But I was really upset. And what upset me most, sort of now in retrospect, is that Monday night, my grandmother was just behaving so strange. She knew something was going on. She knew something was up. Her TV was gone. Her furniture from her bedroom was missing. Some furniture from her bedroom missing. There was one of her chairs in the front room, a table in the front room. There was noticeably, there was a noticeable number of items missing from the house. And so she wouldn't sleep. She didn't want to go in her bedroom. She just paced the house endlessly, and That's what drove me nuts, is that this care facility that is supposed to put patients first is gone ahead and just like screwed us over, and they put her in a terrible situation. So I'm not very happy about that. So 2 days go by, and so Wednesday night comes around, and so my grandmother is pacing the house, and she just won't sleep, and she's got this, she's a sundowner is what they call it, but basically she's up all night. So she has a special pill. It's I think it's like a psychotropic pill or whatever, but it's supposed to mellow people out, and one of the side effects is, you know, drowsiness, and it's supposed to get them to go to bed. Well, I gave her that thing at 9 o'clock, hoping that it put her out within an hour or so. She stayed up until 6 o'clock in the morning, and then she went to bed. And I was up all night because I was trying to get her to go to bed so she can have a good night's sleep, so that way when she moves into the facility, it's not an issue. And I didn't want her falling asleep, you know, at the same time I'm trying to get her up to take her to her, quote, doctor's appointment. So Thursday morning came around, and my uncle got there at 10 o'clock, and I told him, like, let's get her in at 10. I don't want to fuck around anymore, and let's just do it. And so he got there early, and again, like, what we were expecting from this facility was some sort of a welcoming party and some sort of like someone to meet us at the door, walk her in, and thankfully part of it looks kind of like a doctor's office. So we told her she's going to a doctor's appointment because she would not go to a care facility. She made that very clear early on. So we got everything ready. I packed a bag for her that my uncle would need to rush in real quick to drop off some toiletries, some last minute items, because they lock up the toiletries underneath the sink and all that stuff. So he does that. He rushes in, and he sort of orchestrates, like, hey, we're moving my mother in, so my grandmother, and we need somebody at the door to let her in, because they have a security door, and you ring this little doorbell, and you wait, and you wait, and you wait, and you wait, and you wait for someone to come open the door from the other side. Otherwise, there's like a really loud alarm. And anyway, so thankfully he got somebody to wait there with him, and we opened the door and we walked her right in, and we sat her in her room, and it was really strange because, like, she recognized objects in the room as hers. She goes, that's mine. And she walked over and grabbed this picture of her and my grandfather and put it down. And so she sat down in her chair, and we just kind of watched her. And then I had to go talk to the nurses and give her the pills and just sort of turn everything over. So I did that, and my uncle was waiting around, just kind of hanging out with her. He had the TV on. He was just talking with her. And the facilities manager was supposed to come and see us, and so I think I went out right as she was coming in because I think I saw her. But, you know, I talked to the nurses, gave them all the pills, gave them all the directions. They knew exactly what to do. So, you know, I was like, okay, cool. And at that point, I was like, I just want to get out of here. Like, can we just go? But my uncle was just dawdling. He didn't really want to leave. I don't really know why. He didn't really say. But I was just like, I want to go. Let's go. Let's get out of here. You know, it wasn't that I didn't want to see my grandmother off. I think more than anything else, I think I was just being very protective. You know, I didn't want to, like, lose it in the middle of this care facility, which is probably commonplace, you know. But so I go back to the room, and my uncle's there with her, and nobody's there with her. So I'm like, what the hell's going on? Like, where are the people that are supposed to watch after her during her period of adjustment, which is a week? And so I walked over to one of the people that worked there, and I said, hey, we're getting ready to leave. This is my grandmother's first day here. What's going on? And she said, oh, there's someone that's going to be with her for the rest of the day. I said, okay, where are they? And she's like, oh, they're coming. So this is one girl, and with about 6 or 7 other patients in the front part of a room. It's kind of like a social room. And this girl comes up later on, probably like 5-6 minutes later, and so she introduces herself, and she takes my grandmother. And so they said, okay, it's lunchtime, we're gonna walk people to lunch. So they walked her to lunch, and so she wouldn't go without us, so we had to, like, walk to the dining room as well. And so once she sat down and she got situated, and they started pulling up other people to my grandmother's table, I backed away, and then the nurse, well, she's not really a nurse, but the caretaker sort of signaled for my uncle to come away as well, so he came away. And then we walked out, and we talked to her about my grandmother and said, here's the things that are going on, and this is what she might do, so please expect this. And so they're like, okay, yeah, they've seen it all before, so no big deal. And then we left, and then My uncle and I talked for about a half hour outside, and we sort of made plans for how the rest of the weekend was going to go. Which I said I'm taking a break. I don't want to do anything until Monday. So Monday I'll start cleaning out the house, and I drove home and I sat on my couch and I opened up my entire house, which is kind of a big deal because it's hot for one. But the other thing is that my grandmother was so closed off, and she would close herself in, and she'd close all the doors, she'd close all the windows, she'd close all the blinds and the drapes, and she really shut herself in. So it was like a physical manifestation of her own sort of withdrawn self. And so when I was younger, growing up, and even when I first started to move there, she used to open the house up like normal. Open the house up, let it air out, let the air flow through the house, and it really cooled the house down. But, you know, in the last number of years, she closed it all in, and it got really hot. And it being a hot day, I was like, shit, it's hot in here. Let's open this house up. So I opened the house up, and I probably sat at the front couch that I have for the better part of a couple hours. And I just sat there, and I listened to the world go by, and it was so quiet in here, like eerily quiet. But there was also a sort of sense of relief. Like, that was the other thing. I was expecting to have this like weight just lifted off my shoulders. Like I thought I was going to be like on cloud 9. And although that hasn't happened per se, I do feel lighter. I do feel less stressed out. I think that's just natural. My uncle mentioned yesterday, because he came over, even though he said he was taking the weekend off, he came over and started digging through shit, which is, I'll talk about that later on. But anyways, but he mentioned that basically he feels like there used to be like a cloud over the house. He used to come to the house and feel tension in the house, and so he said, I don't feel that tension anymore. And that might just have been his own sort of internal tension, or maybe that was just sort of some palpable attention that was in the house. And maybe for me, just living here as long as I did, I didn't feel it. I became accustomed to it. But I do know from my own experiences that there were times where I would be heading home, and I could just feel like the pressure building as I was getting closer to home. So all that has now changed. So last night I enjoyed my first night here by myself, and it was weird. I didn't sleep very well because it was hot. I just didn't sleep very well at all because it's just weird. So I'm pretty sure I'll get used to it. But it, you know, even though my grandmother is now in a care facility, the work here at the house doesn't stop. I've got a lot of work to do in September. But anyways, yeah, the deed was done on Thursday, and she's in a home, and from what I understand, she's doing well. My uncle's friend has her mother there, so she stopped by to see my grandmother, and she apparently is adjusting well, which is great because I was worried about that. And I'll go visit her probably maybe this time next week. We have to give her about a week to adjust, and so I'm gonna go maybe with my aunt and go see her and just kind of see what's going on. So I'll let you guys know what's going on. Probably in I don't know, a few days or so. There's other things I want to talk about, get off my chest, and I want to talk about my book too, like this book idea that I have. So as always, guys, I think the video is going to run for about another 7 minutes or so. So you guys, if you want to watch, that's cool. It's, you know, that I think that's the interesting part about the race at the end is when the AI starts catching up to me. So anyways, guys, as always, thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, and I shall talk to you guys later.